The Super Smash Bros. Series has always been a franchise that has always resonated with me, and many gamers alike. Given its enormous fan base, it's no wonder that Super Smash Bros. Is the ideal franchise for many people. With its huge roster of characters, the fun single player experience, and the multiplayer that has players coming back, since it is the main attraction. This series has since then been able to continue to bring in people for a good time. It has managed to attract millions coming back to boot this game. So how has it managed to become so influential among millions of people? Let's take a look. To truly know how this series became so influential, we need to go back to the year 1998, where it began, where the first Super Smash Bros. Game was going through development. Believe it or not, the game was not originally called Super Smash Bros. By the time the game, by that time, the game was a mere side project, an idea created by the creator of the Kirby series, formerly Masahiro Sakurai. Well, he was still working at the time at Hell Laboratory, which at the time the company had the idea of having four different prototypes, which were just merely concepts and were looking for input from former President Satoru Iwata. Eventually, he had narrowed it down to just two prototypes. One of the concepts was an action adventure game, which which that concept we never really got any screenshots or any images or any video footage of that particular prototype. And the other one was a fighting game. He was particularly interested in working with the second prototype because at the time he was looking for something that would utilize the analog stick with their newest console at the time, the Nintendo 64. While Iwata worked on the programming for the game, Sakurai worked on the rest of the game, which meant the design, characters, stages, etc. When the prototypes were ready to be presented to Nintendo, at first Nintendo was going for the action adventure route. The reason being was because of marketing. And fighting games during this time that were exclusively on a home console did not sell as well. Because most fighting games that you saw during that time were mostly on arcades, and you had to go out of your house to play these fighting games and were popular amongst many people during this time. So that's why Nintendo turned down the idea, but Iwata and Sakurai did not give up. And eventually, Nintendo came through, and soon they would begin development on the first Super Smash Bros. Game. When the game was complete and ready to be released to the general public, many people were excited, and right to be, because there was not much fighting games that were like Smash Bros. At the time. It was something new that most people did not know about. But that did not matter as long as it was fun and enjoyable. And boy, did the game capitalize on that. The game was a smash hit, selling over 5 million copies worldwide as of today. With its relatively simple mechanics and amount of content that was added to the game, Sakurai's vision of wanting the game to be simple and easy to pick up and play had come to light. Right after the massive success that was Super Smash Bros. 64, the team at Hell went to work on the next game in the series. And let me tell you, This game did not disappoint. Everything was greatly improved from the last game and expanded upon everything they had in 64, which got a major overhaul. And I'll say this, Melee was met with a lot of praise. From the physics to the growing roster, and a lot of fun modes and new features. This game easily beat its predecessor by a standstill. You can even say this game was iconic. Even to this day, lots of people enjoy this game. And it's even been the main event slash game for tournaments. And with its dedicated fan base, it is a pretty awesome game. Even to this day, many people consider it the best game in the series. As much as I would love to talk about Melee and talk about all the great things it did, I want to move away from the second game in the series to the next iteration in the series, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And yes, people may say that this game is not as competitive and the physics are bad as it is not fast as it is in Melee, but you got to admit, this game was a fantastic game and a great expansion from the previous two titles. This game had revolutionized the series in an ergonomic way, and for some people it was their childhood. This time around there was a lot more variety, and they even added a brand new story mode and online functionality. There was not in the previous two titles. Even though there were some problems with the online that made it really hard to play, but besides all of that, it was still a fun game and had all the core elements that made the series what it is. Even if it was a bit slower than its predecessor and all of its problems. Hell, there's even mods out there that makes it like a Melee. But that's another story for another time. Now, I get that Super Smash Brothers with the 3DS and Wii U are not the games most people think of when they think of Melee or Brawl, but regardless of what you think of the game, it was still a great game, and I get it. For Super Smash Bros. 4 did not have as much mode this time around. And yes, it could have done better, but you gotta admit, it was simple and it had the same mechanics that were in the previous three games. We're still improving and giving new things for people to enjoy. Even giving us the chance to pick out DLC for the first time, which that has never happened before. And that was that until Super Smash Bros. 4, and it did not appear in the last three titles. Whenever I think of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I always imagine the motto, everybody is here. And it really lives up to that motto because it does a really good job of what it represents to be. With its huge selection of characters and the number of stages it brings, it really capitalizes on on the ultimate name, given ending the series off with a bang. With the roster of characters being over 80 plus characters, and the stages having twice as much as the characters, it makes for a lot of fun multiplayer matches for both old and new players. It does not really matter if the amount of game modes is limited. Like most people say, simplicity is always better. But besides that, the point is that Ultimate meant something to people. And from what started out as a mere side project to now being a successful Nintendo franchise, it's no wonder this series got so popular and what it became what it is today. And I gotta say, This franchise did not only turn into what people think of a fighting game, it turned into something many hardcore and casual fans can enjoy, and revolutionized it into Sakura's original vision of it being for everybody to enjoy, and will always be part of his legacy because of the hard work and dedication he has put into the series thus far into his career.